we do have time, so we're good, and Will is actually supposed to be here too, so we'll go ahead and get started. First, I'd like to say thank you so much, everyone, for your flexibility and having a meeting tonight instead of Wednesday. I hope it worked out even better for you. I know it did with Mary, because now she can make her husband his favorite dinner on Wednesday. So that's a good thing. So we'll get started with the meetings were sent out last week. Sarah sent them out minutes. Did anybody have any corrections or additions to those minutes? If not, if I could have someone make a motion to accept them into the meeting.
I'll make a motion, Elizabeth.
And if we could have a second.
Dusty, I'll second.
Okay, those who approve, say aye. Those opposed? Okay, so moved. That brings us to the treasurer's financial report.
Okay, I don't know if anybody had any questions about the reports I sent out. We got the normal money, so we used the balance of funds from operating funds to pay for computers, which I understand they are arriving at 1,000, they're doing their magic and it could be here. Probably after the first of the year, maybe, I think they can the new computers after the first.
Kind of said anytime they are arriving, but they then have to be on.
And we're doing well with our budget. We're meeting our numbers as far as expenses are concerned. We're staying within that. And we've actually done better on the income side. What we allocated, we got more as far as like that. The baskets have done well. We did the program that it's kind of put us in a good stead.
What? That's good.
Yeah. And then the other good news was the budget was approved for the town of Bolton. We got our $85,000.
Yes, yay.
So,
How much was that?
85,000. It was 80,000 for operating, 5,000 for capital. So, yay.
So we can stay open. That's great.
So that's it for treasurers. I can go on to the financial piece when we get financial. Whoever has any other questions.
And that moves us down to the director's report and service report and social media.
I apologize for coming out so late. Trying to use it my PTO. I remembered yesterday that I hadn't done my report yet, so I did it. Nothing big, no big changes. There were 2 extra programs this past year. The hospice, which didn't bring in. It brought 2 people, and Sarah and I were kind of embarrassing to be here when nobody comes to the programs. But the hospice program was really special. I mean, the women were wonderful, and they opened my eyes to a lot of things as well. So, and then the Patrice was new for this year. It was wonderful. The Chickadee, mine came out a little like modern art. But if you hold it up and you stand really, really far away, it looks good. So yeah, that's it.
Okay. Anybody have any questions about any programs or anything, Megan? Okay. All right. Then the social media report, pretty much the same kind of growth as usual, right?
Yeah.
Slow and steady. Slow and steady. Wins the race. Okay. Then if I could have someone make a motion to accept their reports.
Make a motion.
So Dina will make a motion, and if I could have a second, Will second. Okay. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? So moved. Okay. Moving down the agenda to the next item, we're in the committee reports. So there's nothing with executive, but we do have something with financial.
Okay. Our proposed budget for 2025. I don't know if anybody had a chance to look at it. The gross dollar amount for the budget stayed the same. We just reallocated cyber insurance money to accounting or bookkeeping. So we just took $1,000 from insurance and we added it back in, so that the gross dollar amount remained the same. We talked to the I do, Will, I was you the only one that we talked to about, the finance committee making a motion to accept the budget if nobody had any questions.
So Gina, would you like to do that?
Sure. I'll make a motion to accept the budget for 2025.
Okay, all those in favor of accepting the 2025 vote, say aye. 2025 finance budget proposal, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, we got a budget.
Great.
Thank you, everybody, for your hard work, especially.
I got Dina proposed it.
We didn't have to second it
The
because the finance committee.
made the motion to accept.
No, Dina seconded it.
Okay.
The appeal letter is going very well. And thank you to everybody who stuffed and folded and got it going. It went out to get mailed right before Thanksgiving, it arrived like a day or two after Thanksgiving. And we've gotten a really good response so far. I mentioned in the letter, I've gotten more since then, but I think by our last check, I think we had 154 people respond, and right now it's over $14,000 that we've gotten just for this particular tranche of we had some money in the beginning of the year. So right now we've made our budget number, between the budget of 22,000 in 2024, so we are over that, and we are doing well on the 2025 piece of it. So we'll see. I mean, it may just be boom and it's done, or it continues on.
Question for you. Is this closer to levels that we've seen in years prior to last year at this point, or?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. I mean, we get like an immediate response to it, but this has been, I was telling a couple of people, we seem to be getting bigger dollar amounts. So I don't know if we wind up with less people, but we wind up with bigger dollar amounts. Because the range is between $10 and $600 was the most we've got. But this has been a really positive response to this. At this point, again, we don't know what it is. It's timing, it's people who want to support the library, people who have given consistently and raised the amount of money that they've given us. So it'll be interesting to see once we get into January where it levels off.
I guess the only downside about getting so much at the onset is then will that leave us short in the 2025? Because when you send it out at different times, you're just kind of moving the curve.
Exactly, and
Yeah,
that's kind of, well, we thought that's what would happen last year, but it didn't, we never caught up. Because of what we had, there's a month difference between when they arrived, and we had a full month, so, we'll keep
see.
reporting on it, and we'll see where we are.
But I mean, it's so far, pretty excited
I'm
about,
pleased with
that's
the way
great.
this is going so far.
Michelle, I think last year or the year before, you had like a chart where you showed like how the trend had been over the past, like, say, 5 or 10 years.
It's in the P and L.
It is? Okay.
There is a piece that says what we got over
Okay.
the past couple of years.
Okay.
So if you look just on the appeal line, it's that information.
Oh, yes, and that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, all right, any questions about that, comments, concerns, otherwise? Okay, so with the policies and procedures, then, we're just waiting for, Megan and Sarah to give us some kind of procedure for the MFA.
We do have it.
You do have it, okay.
There's actually, there's 2 policies that we need to approve.
Okay.
One of them was, I couldn't find anywhere in our policies and procedures that there was a policy for library cards being, people getting a library card. And that was one of the things that Sal said we wanted to make sure we really had with this change going on with Schenectady Public Library. So that is this. It is just basic, it just says who can get a card. It explains that they can do it online, but then they are renewable. And there, I found the other one. So there's that one, and then we also have a policy for the multifaceted authentication policy,
Okay,
and they're both basic. I mean,
do you, the way they're written now, are they good enough to put in the book like that? Or
Yes.
do you need our
There was this
committee?
one spot
or do you
where
need
Sarah had marked under the, I think there's one line that we might have to change.
Okay,
So it says,
when you guys are finished with it,
okay,
why don't you send it to, I think it's Lynn and I that are on the policy committee.
okay,
Send it to us, and after the first of the year,
yep,
look
okay,
at it and try to have it ready
okay,
for one of the next meetings, and then we can
Yep.
vote on accepting. it.
okay.
Okay, are you guys both satisfied with the process, and does it now make sense? I mean, because before, it really, you thought it only had to do with if you're doing it from home, but is it, are we also signing here in this computer?
We don't have to sign, use it here.
You don't have to use it, only if you want to access your work from home.
I haven't accessed it from home, so, and it's just accessing. Check my email. Chris at Sal's explained to Sarah that there are lots of quirks in the system, and one of them could be that at some point, one of us checked to stay logged into that account, which is something that I do, considering it was a Sal's account. And that way we bypass the need for the multi authentication. But that is something Sal's are looking at, and they are going to try to. For now, it is working fine.
All right, so, we'll move on then to the long-range plan. Dina had, gathered the information that she had gotten from some of the committees. She did send that to me, but I had not had a chance to look it over, and being that it's this time of year, I know all of them are busy, plus we're losing half of the group anyway. So, I will pass on what you have given me to whatever group we form for next year, and hopefully we can look that up, certainly next year. But thank you for your progress that you have.
I just want to mention though, that there's the long range plan online. But this was really more geared towards, like I said last week, strategic things. So we're trying to identify your objectives and try to give yourself a little guideline of what you want to achieve.
Okay, well, I looked, when I clicked on the long range plan that we have, it doesn't have anything there. It says to come.
Did you take it off?
No,
No, not seeing it on there.
Really? I went to our website and I clicked on it, and it just said something about more to come. So I didn't see it, but.
Sarah's gonna look it up and see what it has, see what we have here.
Because it always was on there. That's why I'm doing this.
Okay. Unless I-
It was, there was at one time a very basic long range plan there.
Says it will be updated, so, but the long range
Yeah.
plan is there.
But you can click on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Oh,
there.
I just saw where it says it'll be there soon.
No, it said it'll be updated.
but it does say that the one, when you click on it, it's drafted 11/20/20. So it's 4 years old.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I never clicked on anything because when I read that to me, that it wasn't right there. Okay, got it. Well, we'll go from there then. Is there anything new in fundraising? We got the bags and the,
But we did talk about the long range planning, and we actually came up with some great ideas that we'd like to perhaps explore with the group post holidays.
great.
That's
Well,
in the plan.
The new bags look great, and
They look good.
yeah.
She did a great job.
She did a great job, yeah. And the stickers are nice too. And you're right, I think stickers are probably a little bit better than magnets. So people can put them wherever they want, not just on a metal surface.
The bags are, we have sold a few of the bags, people love them. The stickers aren't selling as much only because they're over there. Because the raffle basket's gotta be front and center until up to the end of this week. And then the stickers, but when they were here and right in front, people saw them and were really picking them up, even the magnets.
Yeah. So when that raffle's done, we can get them back in the forefront there. Okay, buildings and grounds, those, the only item on there that we've worked on over the last month, and it's a pretty big one, is we did get the heater installed upstairs, heater and air conditioning. They did, I haven't even gone all the way up to see it, but how does it work?
There's a remote right by the door that comes into the storage area. Just press the, universal on button, and, you can then up and or down. It was an 80 when I was here the other day, so I put it down. Okay, 70.
So,
Way up there.
so we have to remember, yeah, when they leave,
Just to make sure.
well, it probably, they turned it off, but kept it on 80? Is that what it was?
Yeah, I think it was just set.
It said it 80. Oh, okay.
No, it was off.
Oh, okay, okay,
It is, it's
okay.
yeah.
Because I was gonna
Was
say,
it
was
run-
somebody up there in their
wasn't
bathing
running.
suit. That's all now.
They're
We're
gonna
doing
put a,
hot, we're doing hot yoga.
they're gonna put a skylight in and, you know what, I can sit there and tan.
But, as only Carla could do, she found several things that they didn't do as to her specifications. And she's right too, because she had asked them to put the, wire that goes out to that right underneath the soffit. They put a foot below, and I guess they left a mess. So Carla had somebody back here on Monday who looked at their work, and he's like, I don't know why they didn't do what you said, because what you say is, it makes sense to me, and it shouldn't have been any more trouble for them. So we're waiting to hear, we haven't paid them anything.
We did only pay the deposit.
She did not give it to them.
Or she didn't give it to them.
No, they have no
Oh,
money.
they have no money.
They have no money. No. This is, when the guys came, Carla did try to give it to them, and they said, oh, no, our business customers, we bill them later. You have 30 days to pay. So
Okay.
they didn't want to take it.
Okay.
So, she said, all right, we'll hold it. So, when the guy came the other day, Carla said, do you want some of it? And he said, no, until we have this completely done to your satisfaction, don't pay us anything. So,
Somebody was here the day she found out how things were left and cleaned, and straightened up the attic.
When you went up there, because it was like sheetrock dust, like it's all white underneath where it was, like it needs to be wet mopped. I don't know if you noticed it. It looked like somebody had wiped. Yeah, but it's still, you could tell something was done there, like it needs to be damp mopped to clean up, I think, up the sheetrock dust.
oh, okay. Well, how many times this week, but maybe I can, I don't know how much of a mess it is. but-
Oh, it's not trackable.
It's not, it's just kind of
It's like more
sticky.
I already pushed the box with that, it's like,
But anyway, so, but I mean, that's gonna be a lot nicer for these guys to have a warmer area and then cooler in the summertime, so. That was great. So we are moving on then to the book sale. Anything new with that, or?
No,
just
so when I
continuing?
picked up some books, went to this guy's house, he had a lot of coffee table books, a lot of Civil War books. So we grabbed them. And, we got some old ones there.
Would you say we're at about the same, we're collecting at about the same rate, or do you think people have less books than they used to?
I haven't looked at what you have.
A lot
Michelle
less
had
cookbooks,
mentioned,
which is good.
people are hiding them.
Mm-hmm.
I think Michelle, you might have said we didn't have as many as
I
other.
mean, it's very tidy up there, but to me, it just looks like there's less books, because I'm looking at the, like, the accumulation of like the nonfiction and,
Right.
you know, like, you got boxes of A's or B's or C's, and you don't see.
That's definitely something that we can put on social media, to just remind people again that we are taking books for this book sale.
Okay.
Explain that it's our biggest fundraiser, and remind people that we are taking. And if you and Sue don't mind, maybe we include that we have volunteers who would be able to come pick them up.
Yeah,
If you
let me
want,
check them out.
Yeah,
As
and
soon as
take
we
a
do
look at
that.
them, yeah.
got it?
Yeah, because there might be some people that, like I heard somebody mentioning an estate sale, they probably didn't have volunteers to bring them here, but they might have some that we can take a look at, so.
You and Sue, can pull on any of us to help pick up books
Yeah,
too.
you don't have to
like,
do it
it's
too,
not
you
on
can-
you.
Send out a text to or an email to the group and say who's not, who's available Saturday or whatever.
Michelle used to, when she was doing it, especially during COVID, it was triage.
Well, because then you leave them, we said, yeah, all right, we can take this, but you're gonna have to deal with this part, so we weren't having to.
Yeah. Okay. All right, then moving on to grants.
Woohoo!
Some good news there. Oh, I heard a woo-hoo from the computer.
Could you be professional, Mrs.?
Go ahead, Sarah. Sarah has good news, right?
Hi.
Hi. Go ahead, Sarah. You got,
Yes, the good news is on the Pomeroy Foundation, we are receiving the historical marker. Yay! They have mailed out a letter on December 11th with a check for $1,950 along with the application for the marker. The $1,950 will cover apparently exactly the marker, the equipment, the screws, the pole, and the shipping charges. We are responsible for installing it into the ground. So they suggested civics groups or maybe the town. They'll often do that as a volunteer or free service because it really does enhance the local community in the town. And we'll probably need to plan that for the spring. It's going to take 3 to 4 months to get the marker. So as soon as the check comes in, we can go ahead and fill out the application. The final wording based on the primary documentation we found is going to be Bolton Library, chartered in 1901 by New York State as a free library, building construction completed in 1902 by Frank P. Shippey. And those are based on the expenditures documents we found in a book dated from 1899 through 1905. So we were able to document that, and that's what the wording is based on. It has to have supporting primary documentation. So that's kind of awesome.
That is, that's great.
Great job, and thank you that kept with it, because I know we had a couple roadblocks here and there, but we're all just kept going with it, so.
Once Michelle found that box of primary documents, it's a treasure trove.
There's a lot of stuff that originally when I started the book sale, there were boxes underneath the tables. So I went through them and I put them in the front, and I had assumed Sarah, when you said you looked for them, I thought you found them.
Never found
Yeah,
them.
there was one box that has a session records from like 1901. I mean, there's some really neat things up
We have the logbook from the Bolton Reading Association, which turned into the library with everyone's name, and they sign it, and it was $1 a year. And a lot of the names are people from town who their families are still here. So with Michelle was talking with the anniversary of the library coming up, although actually we may need to relook at it with the new dates.
Well, this charter means, because the 5-year provisional charter.
Yes.
So it was 1901, so it was 1906, when
The approved charter.
the charter came through, so we thought for 2026, we could have some sort of celebration.
Yeah.
Megan and I were talking about getting some acid-free.
The first library.
Oh, no, it was not Etta Ingram. It was Mrs. J.L. Oh, I can't remember now. But she received $4 a month for about 4 years. And then she resigned to do other things. And Mrs. Etta Ingram was the second official librarian. And she also was paid $4 a month. The expenditure book is a lot of fun to look through. It shows how much they paid for materials and books. And then the Frank Shippey payments show the huge jump, $400, $600. And that was the construction of the library. But it's, yeah, it's quite the treasure. And we'll look into getting proper cardboard boxes, acid-free, and those things to preserve.
One of the, when it comes to trivia, is very involved in genealogy, but she knows that people at Pomeroy. And I said we had asked them for their advice on preserving these documents. Acid-free sleeves and acid-free boxes. And then she was going to help us with that as well. There's a few things we have to keep in mind about this. The history of the library that Mrs. Gabriels wrote has to be updated because she doesn't have the first librarian listed. And then we also have to do a big thing, having the sign installed and make it. And
Like a ceremony.
kind of a ceremony thing, but have the town board invited, different organizations to participate. We also need to get a permit to put this sign up, I think,
Oh.
but I don't think that that's going to be a problem. This is really a big deal, and I don't think the town's gonna have any problem with us putting a sign up. That is something that the board will have to decide on where you want the sign to go.
But they always seem to be close to the road,
Yes.
one of those signs, so I'm sure they have restrictions of where they want it.
But it's also, I mean, this is definitely something that's down, you don't have to have a conversation now, but those are things to keep in mind. I think that it would be really nice to have some type of celebration for having, acknowledging that we've been here as long as we have.
Okay.
Woohoo.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I wanted to mention something with grants before you. Somebody, and I don't know if they don't know what they're talking about, I was talking about trying to find a grant for handicap. They said check on New York State dormitory.
Oh,
They might have something, and I don't know if they have, that's accurate, but I just meant to mention.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that. I will double check and make sure the info in my head is correct, but that falls under the NICED, New York State Educational Grant. If they're either the parent of the dormitory association or the dormitory falls under NICED. But yeah, I will definitely double check that in case we missed something. We did submit ALA round 3 and asked for 20,000 to do the conversions. So we're just waiting on the decision. But yeah, I'll check that out.
What was the timing of that decision usually? Did they give you any kind of time?
I think February.
Okay,
I think, yeah.
great. All right, anything else with grants? Any other questions or?
Hey, Jane, what about the Stewart's holiday match? What were you thinking on that?
Yeah, if you want to do it, it's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
We have some other deadlines coming up with Charles Wood and Adirondack Foundation, Generous Acts, and the
Yeah.
Price Chopper Gullub. That's the weirdest name. Foundation. They're all coming up January, February. I was wondering, I mean, I'm going to be in town soon, so we can chat in person, hopefully. But I was thinking maybe for that, just to throw an idea for the Adirondack Foundation Generous Grants, because we got it the first year, but then we were declined the second year. So I'm wondering if we need to add something a little bit new to it, maybe for this year's proposal. And I don't know, I wonder if there's any children's book authors that are traveling around, like, I don't know, going to Northshire Books, and we can bring them up here for something. But we can also brainstorm other ideas. But I think we have to come up with another little add-on to, I don't know, try it again, you know?
Yep.
Okay.
I didn't hear the beginning of what she said, but the Cloud Splitter, isn't that due by January 1st?
Cloud Splitter has quarterly submissions,
Oh, okay.
and we're going to, we had talked previously at the last board meeting about submitting the projector we need, the
Right.
updated projector, and asking for them to pay for that. Because that's just over 700, it's $700 to $800.
So you'll do that maybe next quarter, or you doing, okay. Great. All right, thanks again. And then we have nothing for personnel, so Sunshine Committee, is there anybody we need to send a thank you for? Did we already say that
sent,
we're sending one to Carla for doing?
In November, yeah, I sent
Yeah,
her one,
we did.
and Rebecca Garrett sent her one, and the two, Linda Bennett and Deanette Rogers for the, trunk or treat.
Okay,
Those are the November.
great. Anything else for this month?
I don't
Did you
think
say
of anything.
nobody was able to help you with the staffing?
No.
No,
The basket, did we thank her already for the basket?
We usually do that after
After
the
the
drawing.
drawing?
but as soon as you could put it on your list for the month, because we'll be doing the drawing soon. Did we have an updated?
Sarah told me the other day what the new
So
date is.
December 20th is Friday at 1 p.m. We talked about the Friday before.
Yeah, that would be good. Okay. January. So sometime after that, if you guys kind of want to let Mary know, if you wanted to add something like how much we need or who wanted or whatever, you want to let her know. Okay, nothing for the farmer's market. So if I could have someone make a motion to accept the committee reports. Okay, I mean. If I can have a second, I'll. Okay, so under unfinished business, we already talked about the Pomeroy grant. Finding interested candidates to run for board. That's a good one. I have calls and emails out to 4 different people, but have not heard back anything definitive. Had anybody had any other candidates that might be interested in?
The woman I mentioned to you earlier did answer my email, and she said she is going to be out of town. When she returns, she will change her voter registration. She is a resident of Bolton, and then once she changes her registration, she'd be able to vote here. And then she would be able to serve on the board, and she would be fabulous.
Okay,
Her name is Patty Hasbrook, and I'm not sure how to spell it. Michelle might know.
oh, it's a hyphenated name?
It's
or-
not how you.
No.
It's H-A-S capital D.
Oh. O-U-C-H?
She's always been,
Okay,
she has helped us, I think she helps with the book sale every year.
Yes.
She always makes a very generous donation from the appeal letter. She has always just had a lot of interest in the library. She comes in the summertime to use the wireless because getting it out on the island is really hard. So Michelle and I were talking about it. I don't know where her plan is to live. Her summer place is on Clay Island, but she would be a great asset.
great. Well, if you get a phone number, if you have a phone number for, I could follow up in about a week.
I'll get it before we leave tonight
Or
or tomorrow.
some that you might have. I left a message for your neighbor too, but I've not heard back from her yet.
Hopefully it will,
Yes,
because I know she's in.
okay, good. So, and then Rick Mattson is interested too, but we keep missing each other to talk. So, hopefully, I mean, we're really getting close to, crunch time for getting them, so we'll see what we can do. We're gonna get to the election and the annual meeting in just a second. But we will go down to the trustee training requirements.
Only 3 left to
Only-
finish the training. It would be Jane
Mhm.
and Elizabeth is now finished. She turned her papers in tonight, and Terry.
Okay.
And then you all have finished your sexual harassment training.
Okay, very
Just
good.
keep in mind that do it again next year.
The Christmas books for
So-
the after-school program?
The Northshire did an amazing job picking out books for the children, and I gave her a list and she was able to get almost all of the ones on my list. It is divided up into like easy picture books, very few chapter books, as Bambi has a couple of kids that would like that. She also sent I think that we got about 30 books, and 10 of them are not holiday books because anything that's left over, the after-school program gets to keep. And Bambi has a lot of Christmas books because over the years she's got the leftovers. So I spoke to Bambi Saturday and told her the books were here and they're wrapped. And she's going to pick them up Wednesday to have them at the program for Thursday when Santa is going to be there. But Mary and I are going to go down on Thursday as well, just to participate.
Nice.
So
Do they have the Christmas parties?
they have their Christmas party and Santa and Mrs. Claus come to visit and hand out presents. And then I think it's very sweet. And the kids last year, they loved the book. It was really awesome.
That's great. Can we take pictures for social media or?
I
didn't
have
know
to
if
be
you're
careful,
allowed to-
but because Bambi, there are some kids, or there have been kids in the past,
Yeah.
whose parents don't want them on social media. And Bambi will let me know who it is.
Right.
So I'll make sure to ask them.
Okay, great.
And speaking of Christmas books, when Linda and I were there, we gave out 38,
38 bucks.
but we have like 140, so we have a lot.
We still have plenty for next year.
Yeah.
So keep them, keep them till next year.
We did the raffle and my grandson won, but Linda picked the number, so.
Yes. So we can't blame, you for
Right.
feeling at the
That's
right
right.
one, yes. No, it was great. It was actually ended up being kind of a nice day, and thank you,
Yeah, so-
Linda and Mary for helping me out with all that. All right, seed libraries, or anything new on that? No, we'll just wait until next year, right? Library card policy, we talked about under policies. New business. So every year we have the annual meeting. And it actually, I looked at last year's minutes and we actually printed the wrong date. We had put January 9th, I think because this last year was a leap year. There was an extra day, so it's really the 8th. It's the first Wednesday, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's
No,
January 8th.
second,
So,
second, it's the second Wednesday.
well, it'll be the second Wednesday. Because the first Wednesday is January. It's, yes. But it normally, it always is the second
Yes.
one, okay. Do we send out?
It's already been publicized a couple of times.
Okay,
It has been included in the newsletter. And Sarah, well, the December one went out and it was in there.
And it's on social media. I'll double check and make sure I got the right date. I do have Wednesday.
yes, okay. We need volunteers to be at the library during the
So you
voting.
need at least one person to be sitting at the table as people come in to vote. Certainly don't need more than one. There's never a mad rush.
Okay, so what's the timing?
So the election goes from 10 to 5. So what they've done in the past is broke it up into 2 hours. And then the last person, you would want 2 because the last 2 people would count the votes and you need 2 people to do that. And they can't be anyone who's running.
Okay, so we'll need 4 people. So is there anybody that wants to tell me now? They can be available and when? It'd be the 8th, Wednesday, the 8th. I'll do the last time. You want to do the last time too? Okay, so if anybody could kind of look at their calendar from 10 to 12 and 12 to 2, we just need one person. You can bring your book and read here or whatever.
Talk to me.
Megan, do you have the schedule from last year? Because I know you got the book with the names and everything.
Yeah.
Is there that little sign-up sheet that kind of went with it?
Where people sign their name?
No. There
Oh.
was a sheet that gave like from 10 to 12, 12 to 2.
I think somebody just wrote it out themselves. I don't remember it being part of that.
There is a tally sheet. that is-
Yes, but I don't
Oh,
think
yeah,
there's
but
ever
we have to
something,
put down who. They count. They count out. Yeah.
I can certainly make up a tally sheet for you. Once you know who's running.
I'll just check with them.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And so then following that, can we have the meeting at 5 o'clock then instead of?
You know what, you have to give them a
5:30.
chance. You have to give yourselves a chance to come. So
Can we
you
do
could say
5:15? Can we do 5:15 so that we don't, because the most we would have to count is.
You
6.
never know, it could be
Yeah.
a.
Right, but even so, you can't start counting beforehand, like keeping a tally.
No.
But it still won't take us more than 15 minutes. So we could make the meeting time for 5:15. And usually it takes 15 minutes is all that in the meeting takes. If everybody could put that date, January 8th on their calendar or 5:15. Is it necessary we have a quorum for that meeting? So,
You have, any trustee whose term is up and they're not running, it is important that you come, even though the things you're approving are, they're not anything, they are very necessary to be passed. It does determine what bank you're going to use, what newspaper you're going to use, that type of thing. So we do have to have one.
You also have to certify the election.
Right.
all right, any questions about that?
So those of us that are running cannot volunteer during the day, but we should be there.
Correct.
Wait, you can't volunteer during the day?
If you're
No,
not
you can
running-
volunteer, but Elizabeth's running. So she can't.
Okay.
Okay, but you.
Okay.
Okay, So I guess at the annual meeting, but I'll also say it now, I want to thank those of you who are here for their last regular meeting. That's Gail and Dina and Dusty. Thank you for your service. I appreciate the time that you put in and being a part of the community and part of the library. And I wish you all well in your next endeavors, whatever you set out to do. So we're going to move down to communications then. Megan? Said Zoom membership increased $10 to $159 per
Yes.
year.
And that's a necessity. There was an update from Sal's about the Schenectady County Public Library, on how we are handling it moving forward. They did leave it up to us as to whether or not we were going to give those people library cards, from us, but if not, there's this whole normal that I have to really read through carefully. But my plan, and Sarah and I have talked about it several times, is to just give the people that use our library that have a summer place here, they're just going to get a Bolton library card. It makes it simple. And, but it is one of the reasons that Sal's did say, make sure you've gone over your library card policy carefully so that you can do that.
Okay.
But they are, if they're property owners especially, they get to have a card anyway.
Okay. How about anything we need to know about that joint animation meeting? Or anything like that?
The only thing that was in there was going to be. Oh, okay. I know at the joint animation meeting.
Automation, not animation. I probably said animation.
I think you did.
So I made you do it.
Thanks. They are going to vote on what the JAB is going to be for 2025. Right. 2026. You have to have it. We can't say don't do it, because if you, that's how we can check books out, how we can give out library cards. It's how we do our job. So there's not a whole lot I can tell you about it. I don't go to those meetings. I have zoomed in, but it is all kind of set in stone. It's sort of
Okay. So game night, did you have any ongoing events? Any backlash?
We didn't.
No, okay.
And one of the things we did at the last seniors coffee hour, I asked the president of the seniors to talk to their groups and see if there's if anyone would mind doing it a different night. And if they came back and told me that Wednesday would actually be better for them, it would mean the library would be open until 5. Maybe I mean, I'm not sure what we will do, but I think that that's a better night anyway, because we're not competing with someone else in town.
It's true. So you said Wednesday night?
We haven't set it, actually Sarah was going to put a survey on social media to get some feedback from other people that might come. And I don't know if you got any response yet.
So then once a month you could do it because of board.
Right, we did, and actually, one of the things we had talked about, Sarah and I both realized that maybe we don't have to do it every week in the off season. If we do it twice a month, that works out just as well, maybe makes it a little more fun. And it also evens it up for me and for Sarah and me. And we won't go through questions.
Okay. All right, monthly coffee hour, see 9 people came, that's a pretty good number.
Yes, and they love to come. And Tops is still donating the donuts. They didn't this month because my sister went. So I took the leftovers home. And make bread pudding. Sarah and I were working on our origami and paper card making. Mary made the star. I think I might have. That is the coolest, simplest thing. Sarah, can you show them mine? So it is so easy. It is 9 paper bags, lunch bags that you glue together.
Wow.
So I did this one there, and Mary made cuts in hers. I didn't. I've watched a number of videos. It takes about 10 minutes.
Wow.
And they're really cool. So this is one of the projects we're going to do. And then I loved it. I made a pop-up product. So this might be the other one, and then Sarah's, she's supposed to be doing something with origami. And Mary has showed us, Polish? No, what was the bell?
German bell.
A
Dutch
German
bell.
bell that's a fold, and it comes out really cool, and it's really easy.
There's origami fish I have to think, or that's very easy. Cause I ordered an origami snowflake book thinking I could do it with the you know, you look at the third graders, it's too intricate. So you have an easier origami.
What's great about those bags is that, as I've done two now, I have one at home, you learn a few things. Don't cut through the bottom of the bag, because you're actually, if you do 9, the intention is that you cut through all 9 bags to make your design. But that's kind of hard. But if you cut through 9 bags at the bottom, you're cutting through about 20 layers of paper. So that's really hard. So you want to keep it as simple as possible, the design, because it comes out beautiful. And then I did find some snow, the spray that it's actually in my bag that we're not going to use at my house. And I figured if people want, they can spray it on the paper bag and it dresses it up a little.
You just have to be careful with ventilation, right?
We'll do it outside.
Yes. So if anybody's not busy that Saturday, come on down. Make it feel like. All right.
Nice and cool.
The Citizens Preparedness Corps, he's either an army, it's a military person. And he called last week just to verify the date and time that he's going to be here. And that's going to be February 20th.
Okay. All right, and aquatics GCs, we're still getting a date for that one, and the bird collisions, we still.
We do have the dates for the,
AIS.
yes, and it's on the bulletin board.
And we've got the paint with the trees dates for January, February.
Oh,
and
that's
March.
right, we do. And we have gone back and forth about what painting we're doing first, but I believe I win. It's a lake with a moon over it, and it is absolutely beautiful. And I'm not sure what we're doing after that. Did she didn't send us some choices yet, right?
No, but January 23rd is the first pay-as-you-go paint with the trees.
She has raised her rate to 25 or 30.
30.
Yes, and she only wants to do 10 people. She was a bit agreeable to the 12 because it was written in the grant that we got to there.
So is there a minimum that she'll come for? Do we have to have 10,
She always seems to agree.
whatever it is?
I think that if it were less than 6 or 7, she probably would. Well, I'm driving from Stony Creek. Okay. So it is it's a drive.
So, any additional comments from the trustees?
I have,
Oh, you have more, I'm
I
sorry.
just have a couple of things.
Okay.
There was, after buying the children's books for the after school program, some money left over. And Michelle and I talked about it, and then I talked to Bambi to see what she needs or really wants for the program. And she said the one thing she's asked for and hasn't really, no one has offered it, is a sensory table. So I found one on Amazon, and then I approved it with Michelle. When I went to order it though, it was going to be $35 to ship it. So I asked Carla to order it for me because Carla has Amazon Prime. But when Carla orders it, she has to pay the sales tax. So we ended up saving about $12 having Carla order it. And it just made me think again about the library, looking into the Amazon Prime. Sarah she updated the information that she had given us once before. In 2024, we spent $282.88 in shipping. And there's a lot of benefits as well. And Amazon offers not a Prime account or not for profit.
It's less than what you pay for shipping, I'm assuming, right? For the Prime?
There is no shipping. If you have Amazon Prime, it's free.
No, I know,
No,
I'm just
how much is
saying,
it
how
to
much does it
join?
cost to join Prime is what it is.
That's right. It would be less than,
And the shipping cost, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
okay. Carla had looked into it for us as well, and it seemed like a very, very low amount that not-for-profits pay, but I don't have that number.
Did we give it to Michelle to put in the budget for this year?
No. And it's definitely something to be thinking about. That's
Right. No, I think it's not a bad idea. I also wonder if, because we have Carla order a lot of things, that makes a lot more work for the treasurer to figure out when different people order things, right? Or not really?
We've gotten much better, actually, the last 2 credit card bills were like right on.
Just remember that we haven't ordered any books.
I know, there was, 7, 9 items, it wasn't a lot.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, but it worked out okay, but, as long as Carla communicates with me that she ordered something, I just make sure that she gets a copy of it.
Okay. Is there anything under our budget that we could put that shipping?
Yes, because it actually gets your books. because
Yes,
it's what-
so it would be part of your book.
You were paying shipping, and
Yes,
shipping is
right.
built into the cost of the book.
Right.
You don't
Right.
break out the shipping.
I would also note that I added up all the shipping charges for the calendar year 2024. I don't know if it's on that sheet.
I gave it to them.
Okay, and it was right around $300, and that's with being careful and ordering everything for free shipping that we can. So that is probably, I didn't go back and do 2023 or 2022, but we paid $300 in shipping in 2024 that if we had some sort of a Prime account, whether it's nonprofit or business, we wouldn't have to. So it might be a wash.
I wouldn't even have thought it was $300 because regular Prime is only $120.
We don't have Prime at all.
Business Prime membership is available at up to 65% off for nonprofit organizations.
And there's a number you can call for the nonprofit account, but you have to call and start a conversation and get a representative assigned to you. And I think it would be an even better deal for that, but I didn't go ahead and start that until we decided to either move forward or not.
For the next meeting, just kind of start the process, let us know what the price is and, little synopsis of what the benefits would be. And I think it would be a no-brainer,
Okay.
honestly.
I do love having Carla order for me because
At 65,
I don't think I know anybody who doesn't have Prime. Oh, you don't have Prime?
no.
one of the best,
No, you do.
great-
Yeah, I do.
one of the best things though about having Carla order those things for me is that then she has them shipped to her house. And then Chuck is he put the table together for us.
Oh, so there's.
But it was also, the plus to that, besides him putting it together, is that one of the things when I wanted to order it, Michelle suggested that I get out of Amazon and check reviews on this company that made this table I found. And it was all really good reviews, but it was reinforced by Chuck when he put the table together and he said, this is really well made. So it was about a $300 table.
Is it hard to have things shipped here because of our hours too? Like what if
No.
they deliver on a Monday or
You know what,
At 9 in
Jason
the
Becker
morning.
is the UPS guy. And
does he put it in the back?
He doesn't, he waits until I'm here.
Oh, he does.
The other thing is you can pick your delivery.
So you could pick your.
Yes.
when you're done.
And they, that is one of the things you put in the Amazon Prime, there's like your dates that you're open. So UPS already does it.
And they may, you probably could put your times that you're open too, so they deliver.
The FedEx does it, everything.
Yes.
And they will leave it on the plane.
I know the guy from UPS that delivers around here is really nice.
Yeah.
His name is Jason.
Tall, thin guy.
Jason Becker, he's really, really wonderful guy.
Yes. Everybody around here must get a lot of stuff.
Jason is trying to convince UPS to buy him a boat because my sister Kate lives on it. But she orders a lot of stuff that gets delivered by UPS. And so it comes here and every time he walks in, he purposely makes me think that it's something for the library to clean more for me. And he goes, it's for your sister. And then I also wanted to talk to you about what happened with the telephone call.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
This is a good one, guys.
This is really creepy. So I'll just explain it. On the 11th, we got a phone call. The phone number came up as a wireless caller, and it was a 315 area code, which I recognize as being the Mohawk Valley.
Yeah.
He seemed like he had a young voice, but it was definitely a male. And he wanted to know if I could send him some articles of the bomb threats that had been made, but that were fake bombs. There was no bomb. And he wanted me to send him the articles in an email. And I said I could send him the links. He didn't want me to send the links because that would mean he'd have to click twice, which I thought, well, that's stupid. How hard is that? He wanted me to do 10 articles, and he wanted to know if I could do it every day. And I said no. And then he said, well, what about once a month? And I said, well, why don't we see how today goes, and I'll decide if I'm going to do it again. So he agreed to that. When I asked him what this was about, he said he had never heard of anyone doing bomb threats. So after I hung up, I went to copy the link and put it in the email, and he gave me his email address, which had a person's name in it. Sassenkin Scott 66@gmail. And that usually means that that's the person's name. So I Googled that name. And that turns out to be someone who has been arrested multiple times for bomb threats. So that really creeped me out. So I quickly picked up the phone and blocked his phone. He then tried to call 3 more times. So Michelle came in the middle of all of that, and she said, save your notes, make sure, write down everything that happened. So I did that. And then as I was writing it, I thought, man, call the police. This is not good. So I called and left a message with the top police. I let Linda know what was happening, and the policeman came in, whatever day it was, took all of the information, copied my notes, and then he did call me later on to let me know that it was the person that, because I thought, well, maybe it's just a copycat. So it really was that person who had been arrested. And he is in a locked facility out near Utica, psychiatric facility. They were aware that he had a cell phone, but they were not aware that he was doing that. And I did say to the policeman, the guy wasn't doing it in secret, because I thought he was calling from like an office, because there was a lot of talking in the background. Anyway, the police are going to send they were sending the police report out to this facility, and then they were going to decide whether or not this happened. But in the meantime, we were all safe. And I did tell Sarah that if he should try again, to please just note down the time and stuff, so we can let the police know that he's continuing to do it.
Do you know who he made bomb threats to? Was it other libraries?
Actually, there are things online. If you look him up, I can't remember the place.
One of the things he was gonna, I Googled it too. He'd made a threat to kill Ronald Reagan.
Did he really? I didn't.
No, not Ronald.
Once I saw that
Somebody else. So he had not only done bomb threats, but he had
by the time I got done talking with Michelle and Linda, I was really creeped out.
Oh, yeah. He had a cell phone.
Yeah.
Take that away first.
My family asked, why would he pick you? And then my brother said, probably because he burned his bridges with all the libraries around him. But he also probably figured that the big libraries have a policy already that says, you won't do this.
Right.
And small libraries, maybe I've never heard of bomb. So
Hero's mission.
it was, I did say that I have been here a very long time, and this is the weirdest.
That's saying something.
If you want to get into psychology.
I don't want to even think about it anymore. I've thought about it enough.
Well, on that note, does anybody want to make a motion to close the meeting?
I'll make a motion.
And a second? I do second.
Oh, wait, I did have something else. I'm sorry,
Oh,
Michelle did it.
Oh,
It is
okay.
Sorry. It's just a thank you note.
Run back.
It is a thank you note from Michelle Huff to the Golden Free Library. I'm writing to express my heartfelt gratitude for your contribution to the town Christmas tree lighting this year. The children love receiving the gift, and it really adds such a nice touch to the day. Thank you for your continued support of this wonderful community event. Merry Christmas, Michelle.
Oh, that's nice.
And now you can count. Well,
Okay. Good night, everybody. Night. Thanks again. Have a very happy holiday and a wonderful new year. And we'll see you all on.
I'm stopping.
So, back away. Okay, I love you.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.